It has been 4 months since we've seen Hina. But today, she's coming home. Welcome back to Hina. One sec. one moment. Baba Booey. Nah. Huh. The lights, Josh. Welcome back to Hina. Looks like we're on a new version as of May 20th. Cool. Alright, chat. So. Actually, you know what? We'll do that. Let me just plot this open. So. I don't think anything has changed. I assume these characters are now available to play online, though. But here, I'm level 70 dupe. Level 70 dupe. Here's what we're gonna do. I am going to set my alarm 15 minutes. At every game I lose in those 15 minutes, I'm gonna get up and do one push-up. Alright? I'm gonna start the timer as soon as I queue up for the first match. Ready? There we go. 15-minute go. Oh, he's got rainbow text. I haven't played in 4 months. Alright, turn you off. I got apple juice. Alright, watch this. Am I gonna play fast? So I'm gonna play solid. So there's probably some new levels, but yeah, we're just playing some Hina because I believe the last time I played this was when Mizuchi came out, but Mizuchi was in a state where she wasn't available to play online. I know Renosuke was like that. I don't know why she fell. So every win is nothing. I have to lose. If I lose, I get up and I do physical activity. What happened to your cool rainbow rank? He lost his cool rainbow rank. Now he's back to being just another Yakujin Kageyama. What a sad world we live in where you can't even be the cutest girl Kageyama. I'm chugging apple juice. Well, that's just fucking great. That's one. Someone in chat might have to count, because I'm definitely gonna forget. That's one. Alright, count them. Put your hands together. I've never been the super secret Hina rank. Watch this. Okay, I thought that would work a little differently, but that's okay. You don't win. Now I win. He's still got it. And by it, I mean he's got opponents who throw the game for him. Winner is me. God, imagine if your ping, like, was actually mattered in this game. Like, if you try to play a fighting game with 205 ping, I think your opponent would actually find you, IRL, and kill you for making them try to play that. Why is she a mime? But in a game like this, ping does not matter. You take turns. Shit don't matter. Even if it looks kind of wonky sometimes because of the ping. Okay. Even if it looks wonky sometimes, by the end of the exchange, everything sets itself back to normal. That's good. 200 ping is way more bearable in the rollback age than it was with 8-frame delay days. Yeah, but I play Smash Brothers, which doesn't have rollback. That's 2. The funniest thing to me was in Smash games went one of 2 ways. Either the game was extremely laggy, or the game was buttery smooth, but there was literally 2 seconds of delay every time you did an input. But the game ran at a frame rate. I don't know why you get between those two, but like they're both unplayable for sure, but one of them. Oh man, that reminds me, chat. When I remember when I was younger, playing Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 on the Wii. On the Wii, that's 3 by the way, right? Wii, Wi-Fi, wireless connection to a router that wasn't mine. And I have no idea where it was located in the world, just that I could connect to it freely. I remember it took literally 2 minutes just to get the fight started. And I unironically tried to play in these conditions. I was the worst possible thing. I assumed that game's connection was bad regardless, because people actually stayed and tried to play it despite that. But like, it was really bad. Like I'm doing my Kid Buu combo. I do punch, 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 special, kick, tap, 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 tap. And then I do punch, punch, and this whole combo is taken like 3 fucking minutes to go through. I have done less than half of a health bar. I'm fighting SSJ Broly because there's only 2 characters you fight online. It's Legendary Super Saiyan Broly and SS4 Gogeta. That's it. Those are the only 2 characters people picked online. I played Kid Buu. Scum? Yes. Definitely. I was scum. But man, people knew how to get to SS4 Gogeta instantly on the CSS screen. They were on that shit like fucking pew, pew. I don't know what that does. I don't know what you just did. Great, your fucking black ball stopped me from winning. 5. You gotta play with a wired connection. Don't worry, when the new Smash Bros comes out, it's gonna have rollback. Definitely. The Switch 2, it's gonna have rollback. It's gonna be the best game in the entire series. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. It's my time. Wi-Fi time. Is rollback netcode really so good? We asked an analyst to explain. Wow. Wow. This time, huh? Ain't gonna be no Incineroar, bro. You know that Incineroar was only added in Ultimate, and I've played the game since it was on 64, right? Right? I played Kirby. Kirby, I played Kirby and I played Donkey Kong. And you tell me right now that Kirby and Donkey Kong ain't gonna be in the new game. Go ahead, Unk. Go ahead. Let me know. Bro said I can't. I bet you play a fucking Fire Emblem character, you goddamn weeb. I play Mark because he's really cool. Yeah, I bet. I fucking bet. That's 6? Is that 6? Little Mac, shit. That guy's shit. What character do you play in Smash Brothers? I play the character, I play Cloud Strife. I play Donkey Kong. Oh, me? I play, I play Mr. Game & Watch. Yeah, I bet you play Mr. Game & Watch. Why did my microphone mute itself? That's weird. Oh, nice bounce. All right. Okay. Alright. Okay. There we go. No, I think these suck. Not suck as in, like, they're bad characters, but they suck as in they're just, like, awful. Mii Brawler is one of those characters that you see show up in metagames, where the idea of them is that this game has been out for a long time, and this character is capable of cheesing wins, so you don't have to put nearly as much time into this character as others to start seeing results. That is what Mii Brawler is. Luigi is the same. They're characters that have really high reward off of mediocre risk, to the degree that, like, you don't have to be playing that long to become really dangerous with them. So they're minimal effort characters. Mii's get bonus points because people that play Mii's really want to be special. That's why they pick Mii's in the first place. They really want to be special. I knew it was gonna happen. I was ready for it. There's no sizes for Mii Brawler in Ultimate. There's no sizes for them in Ultimate. It's just Mii Brawler with the piston punch, because they do down throw, up air, up B, and it kills you at 70, and sometimes it kills you at 60. It's a Smash 4 combo, and they just do that. They just do that. But like I said, that's pretty much their entire game plan, is they just fish for that. And like Luigi, you just, there's a couple things that you get in neutral and they lead to a kill, so it's like it doesn't matter how much, you don't have to put as much time into the game to do that. You can just kind of get away with that, and you only have to get away with it a couple times, and then you win a game for it. So that's what I mean by those types of characters that show up in later metas, because they're quicker characters to get up to date with when games have been out for a long enough time. Cheap, effective, and useful. People don't play Marth. Marth sucks. In a game like Ultimate, Marth sucks. He can't space any of his tippers. His sour spots are ass. He's got no real combos. He's got no real confirms in any tippers. He's just stray hit the character, but sometimes his stray hits need, he needs really good positioning on his stray hits. So at that point, you just play Lucina, because at least Lucina doesn't matter where you hit them with the sword. It's consistent. However, they're very boring characters. They're, quite simply, swing the sword character. They're extremely boring characters. Oh, I won. That's their whole moveset. Their whole moveset is swing sword. There's nothing cool about it. It's just swing sword. Forward air, swing sword forward. Up air, swing sword upwards. Back air, swing sword backwards. Down air, swing sword downwards. Yeah, but it's clean. No, it's boring. It's boring. There's no hef. It's just and eventually you die to it. It's not cool. It's boring. Oh, there's the 15 minutes, chat. So after this game, we will decide if I do 9 or 10 push-ups. Whenever this game loads. Try Roy's better. Roy's only better because he does things faster and he has combos. He still just swings the sword. He still just swings the sword, but unlike the other two I mentioned, he he can do more of it and he can follow up from it. With Marth and Lucina, they're really just hitting the sword button until eventually you die to the same move they've been hitting you with the entire game. And then you yawn, and you're like, oh, good game. Good game, guys. Yeah, you sure got me. Oh. It's only really them, though. This guy thought he won when his opponent was, in fact, me. Alright. Heh, heh. Alright, 9 push-ups. Here I go. I did one extra because I wasn't sure if I miscounted. Okay. I think, alright, we'll set the next 15 minutes. I think, Robin is cool. Robin has a pretty unique moveset for a sword user. He's not very good, but he's cool. It's just, in the case of Marth and Lucina, they really are just, they are just swing sword. Standard swing sword. There's nothing really cool about it. You know what's cool? When you play a giant fucking cat and you grab people and choke slam them. That's cool. Break their neck on the ropes. And they explode and die. That's pretty cool. Ain't this dude who says, like, man characters who only punch so cool? Yeah, because punching is the most primeval form of communication of combat we have. So punching people is cool. Punching somebody is cool. You got a problem with punching people? You know when Incineroar doesn't punch? Like, at all. I don't think a single move in his kit is a punch. That's why Little Mac is cool. No. Little Mac is not cool. Little Mac is annoying as shit. Little Mac is the most fucking This Is Smash Bros. Design in the entire series. Whee! He has fucking super armor on smash attacks, ridiculous grounded frame data, and stupid kill power. And then in the air, he's like the worst character in the entire game. And that's the whole gimmick. The whole gimmick is that he's obnoxious as shit on the ground, and he's terrible in the air. So he promotes an extremely, like, lame playstyle because he just so easily just kill you because on the ground he's so stupid. He's so stupid on the ground and you're just promoted to cheese him. You're not trying to play the game against Little Mac. That's the problem. When Little Mac is your opponent, you're not playing Smash Bros. You're playing Don't Get Cheesed by Little Mac. Goodbye, Hina. That's one. The problem is his design is too back and forth. It's too like, oh, he's really good in one area and he's dog shit in the other. And it's not good design. He's not a good character, but he does have the ability to just accidentally win sometimes. But if you see, when people play against Little Mac, it's not even Smash Bros. Anymore. You're not really playing Smash Bros. Against Little Mac. You're playing, I'm on the platform, I don't want to fucking engage with you because you're gonna cheese me. Oh shit, Galactic Cutie Hina. Holy shit, I can't even read this guy's name. The worst characters to play in any fighting game are the ones who don't play by the rules of the fighting game. Those are the worst characters. Usually the best characters in Smash Bros. Are playing their own game in Smash Brothers. But Little Mac is a weird exception where he is playing his own game in Smash Brothers, but he's not very good because the other part of his game isn't good. I couldn't give you real fighting game examples of it, but obviously characters like Meta Knight, Bayonetta, Steve, and Min Min, these characters are all pretty notorious because they're not playing Smash Brothers. They're playing whatever the fuck their game is. Promoted to the cutest Go Kageyama. Like, Bayonetta is a good example, because Bayonetta is a Marvel character. Bayonetta in Smash 4 was basically a Marvel character. She had ridiculous touch of death combos that could be instigated from, like, random stray hits. So, she wasn't playing Smash Brothers. A lot of the rules of Smash Brothers didn't apply to her. So, she's just playing a different game. Happy Chaos and GG Strive. I've heard he's a piece of shit. I don't know enough about Strive to really understand what it is about him that makes him such a piece of shit, but I've heard he's a piece of shit. But it's like I said, the issue usually is what people have is that, again, these characters aren't playing the same game, but they're given the same... Interesting. They're given the same properties. So what I mean by that is, like, for example, Bayonetta has an air dodge, right? Every character in the game has an air dodge. Her air dodge is actually the slowest to come out. It's like frame 5. However, Bayonetta also, of frame 1, has Bat Within. So if Bayonetta is hit before her air dodge comes out, she does Bat Within, takes a certain amount of percent based on the damage that she would have taken from the move that connected, and then she can act faster than she would have if she had gotten hit by it, or actually dodged the move to begin with. So even though she has a frame 5 air dodge, she technically has a frame 1 air dodge because of the way Bat Within works. So she can just get out of things. So yeah, frame 1 combo escape option. A frame 4 up B out of shield that covers cross-ups. That converts to a kill. Like, sometimes it feels like when you're fighting against characters with so many blessed options that you feel like they shouldn't even be allowed to have the same options that you have. It's like, wow, here's Min Min on the other side of the stage swinging aerials and moves that will kill me. And she's allowed to shield. Why is she allowed to shield? What does she have to shield over there? That bitch can attack me from the other side of the stage. with not projectiles. She's using her hands, her arms even, haha. But when I get up close to her, oh, sorry, she's holding shield, so you can't actually hit her. No, that bitch shouldn't be allowed to shield. She's hitting me from so far away. Why is she allowed to shield? She shouldn't be allowed to do the same thing that I do, because she can do so much more than me. That's where it's not fair. I'm tired of having universal options with characters who have a universe of better fucking options than me. Fuck this garbage. The Chaos can use anywhere on the stage with his gun. Sounds fun. Sounds fun. I like getting shot by gun. Pew pew. The worst character you've never played. That's right. I've lost like once so far. Pretty good. I gotta do one push-up. Now, it would be really bad design. It would be really bad design if characters weren't given universal options. Defensive options. There is one exception to that, and that's Kazuya. Every character in Ultimate was given a universal jump squat for frame 3. So every character gets off the ground on frame 3. In older games, heavier characters had longer jump squats. Kazuya, for whatever reason, breaks that. Kazuya has a frame 7 jump squat in Ultimate, where every other character was, like, universalized to 3. So he gets off the ground much later. Well, not much later, you know, a couple frames, but it matters, it does matter to a certain extent. But it's interesting because they even bothered to do that. They even bothered to do that in the first place, when every other character can just kind of, you know, I don't know. Tie game doesn't count. Nani sore. Nani sore. Go, Hina. But I hate them. I hate all of them. Sometimes you gotta wonder why you even play fighting games. I mean, I don't play fighting games. I haven't played Smashing Brothers in quite some time. But you know what? When that new one comes out, I will probably play it. For how long? I don't know. But, I mean, a new Smash game, it's really not hard to find people to play with when a new Smash game comes out, I'll tell you that much. I remember the days when Ultimate was new. Man. When Ultimate was a new game, that was a time. That was a time. Goodbye, Hina. It's my win, baby. 100-meter bonus points. Sakurai looks like when he retires, his skin is just gonna, like, fall off. Like, he's old, and he's wrinkled. And he's stressed. The stress is keeping his face compact. When he retires and his stress disappears, his face is gonna give out. He's gonna turn to a mud man. King Wrinkle. No more Sakurai. No more. You know, Sakurai made a video on his YouTube channel about game balance. I think he should probably fucking check that out sometime. You know, maybe he should watch his own goddamn video. I didn't watch it. I don't know what he said, but no way I'm listening to a man who made a game like Smash Bros. Tell me about fucking game balance. I've seen what your game balance is, motherfucker. You make some of the worst shit. But you know what? It's always the DLC's fault. Except Meta Knight. I don't know what the fuck Meta Knight was, but for the other games, it was definitely the DLC. The DLC was a complete adherence or ignorance. Oh, Hina. Complete ignorance of game balance, but like when the game first came out, it was fine. It takes a while to find the things that are good, of course, but Oh, there's 2 push-ups now. My issue with Sakurai's game design is usually that he seems to regards like any additional form of tech skill to be something that needs to be so unbelievably rewarded that it's frankly embarrassing. I get his philosophy. He wants to make games where people can have fun even at lower skill levels. But like, when he put Ryu in Smash 4 and was like, wow, check it out. You can now do fighting games' 3 most basic special move commands. The quarter circle, the quarter circle forward, the quarter circle backward, and the Shoryu, whatever you call that one. And it's like, oh, cool, you can do a true input and you'll get a stronger Shoryu. Yep. How much stronger? Oh, you know, it'll kill characters at 60. What? Why? Well, I mean, you did the Shoryu input. That was pretty tough, gamer. You know? You did a Z motion with your control stick. That deserves a kill at 70% earlier than if you just pressed up B. Oh. Huh. Does it? Yup. Sure does. Really? Yup. And then guess what he did with Steven Minecraft. Steven Minecraft has to work really hard to mine resources, and some of his options he's not allowed to use unless he has those resources. So we made it so those resource using attacks were so fucking brain dead strong that you have to wonder who thought this was a good idea. Here's Diamond F Smash. It kills you at 70 center stage. And it's so fast. Here's Diamond Back Air. It kills you at 80 at the ledge. Because why not? Here's Down Air. In the air. Drops an anvil on your head. Kills you at 90. Why? Because you had to work really hard to get that piece of iron to make it. Like, I hate Sakurai's design. Any character who fundamentally doesn't function as intended without resources has their resource gimmick way too overtuned. To the point where it's just ridiculous. And it's not hard for Steven Minecraft to get resources. It's not. Steven Minecraft puts a wall in front of him and then goes on the other side of it, and then he has half a bar of iron, gold, and diamond for the next stock. And it's just like he can just do that. It's not difficult for him to do it. Oh, a magic show. Oh. I don't know what I can and can't hit here. Okay, I had a feeling that was going to be a hit, but... What? What? What are you even... Oh, okay. Goodbye, Hina. That's 4 push-ups now. And I got time for one more game before the alarmy goes off. Before the alarmy go off. I won too many times. Will it be 5 or will it be 4? Yeah, I hear it, but we gotta play the last game. Pokeball. If you can't keep your resources up in a video game, you deserve to lose. Olimar does it too. Olimar has to use Pikmin for 90% of his moveset. So if he doesn't have Pikmin, he can't play. So to compensate that, they make it so he can just press B, pull a Pikmin up immediately, and within like 3 fucking frames of summoning a Pikmin, he can act again. Like, you have to wonder why it's even a fucking button. That shit is so non-committal, it's funny. Like, he needs to be able to do this to function as a character, so they made it so the button is a fucking formality. It's a formality of a button press. That shit happens so fast. Pop, Pikmin. Oh, there you go. Now you have all the Pikmin required to play the game again. 2 Kina! 4 push-ups, 2 Kina. Pikminless Olimar is ass. can't kill you with F-tilt, though. He can't kill you with F-tilt. Start the game. 15 in. Perfect. What do you want? Oh, it's just the Ottawa weather report. Thank you for telling me what Ottawa's weather is going to be like. Yes. Game balance. I'm no game balancer. I'm just a gamer. TM. Asterisk. Registered trademark. Truly the most oppressed. Well, that worked. I don't actually know what any of that shit you're doing does. I just assume that you do it because you're allowed to. That is one fluffy bastard. Kwakama on comms. Commuka. Yes. What is going on in this game? You throw things at Hina and you make her fall to the bottom. It is as simple as it looks. It's quite fun, too. Lily's on doing her day job. Although I guess it's not the daytime, so it's not really a day job at this moment. That was bad. You can play this game for free. Pog free. Pog free. You don't win. You think you win, but you are a fool. How did he do that? How the fuck did he do that? Well, that's one. I didn't think he'd win. I don't know how he did that. Alright. The golden rule of Hina is that the better player always loses. So if you're on a hot streak, I have bad news. Oh my god. I don't even know what to do about this. Okay. Dude, I've been Rainbow Rank a couple times today. It's just when you fucking lose a match in Rainbow Rank, you lose like 3 matches worth of points. And then you have to do it again. I want to be super galactic cutie Hina. Wow. Slipped in there. Oh, look at that. Now I'm Rainbow Rank again. How about that? Look at me, Mr. Rainbow. Slide. No, 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 that was bad. No. Yeah, okay. Ooh, I wonder where she went. Why did you splooge on her? It's fucking weirdo. You didn't have to. That's 2, by the way. Disperse the goo. There are some characters in this game that you just don't fight anymore. I don't remember ever fighting Renosuke yet. But he's still new. There was a Nitori earlier, actually, which is crazy because Nitori is not a common character. I really thought that would work. Who's the most common character I fight? See, I don't think that's like... If you ask me, it doesn't really help figure anything out because I just play against the people who boot the game up when I'm streaming it. So I'm not playing the meta. I'm playing you fuckers. And you're playing your stupid ass characters. And I'm playing my stupid ass character. How many times do you run into a jupe when I'm not playing? Huh? I can tell you 0. The only time you find jupe on this goddamn game is when I'm here. How narcissistic of you. Yeah, that's true. But it's true. That moved her, come on. That's 2 or 3, I don't remember, I forgot. What's our plan? Okay, so I think maybe we should try another method of approach here. See, I didn't want to do that because that's gonna get her stuck in a weird spot. That's 4. Sometimes I think that this game is not designed. It's not designed with my character in mind, you know? Doesn't that just how that feels sometimes? When you sit there and you play 1,000 hours with the same character and then you convince yourself that this game was not built around this character. Your character is actually one of the worst characters in the game, yet your ass continues to play them because you are a piece of shit. Classic. Yeah, actually, this character that everyone thinks is good, I play them, they're actually really bad. So why do you still play them? Why do you still play them? What the fuck? What is that? What? Whoa! Whoa, what is that? There's a super Hina on my screen. What does that do? What does that give you? What do you win for that? I won. Lucky Chance Rainbow. Wait, there's a jackpot in there. Plus 50,000 BP. 50,000. What the fuck? I wonder what the jackpot was. I just made fat cash, boys. Fat cash. Okay, well now there's a new type of Hina in there. I wonder what the jackpot is. There was like 3 options in there. I saw jackpot in there. I want to know what I don't know what the jackpot got. I got a whole fucking legendary crate pull with that one. Damn. How much pity did you get for that? How much pity points did you get for that? Because when you lose a golden Hina, you get like 3,000 points for losing the golden Hina. Super Omega Rainbow Hina. Go, Hina, go. Yes, go. Go. Go! I didn't look. What? Why did you not look? It's probably a pretty decent one. I wonder how rare that is. That must be very new, because that never appeared before. But yeah, that was unexpected. There's now a tier higher than a golden Hina. And she pays your home fucking mortgage in points, bro. Maybe I'll see her again someday. I've given up. I've given up. I lose. No. Still only at 4. Still at 5. Nah. Call Hina. I'm crying. Ah. I'm watching it. I'm watching it. I'm watching it. Some of these levels have been around since the beginning of this game, and they're so simple that the process of actually like dealing with them is it's pretty solved. Whee! 1 billion points, please. Give me 1 billion points, please. We should keep a tally on how many different characters we actually run into. Well, currently, I'm playing a lot of Mizuchi, and I think that's probably just because she's the newest character. I don't know what she does. I should probably read her effect, but I don't really care because she hasn't done anything that's, like, confused me. Well, I mean, that's not necessarily true. She's confused me in the sense that I don't know what she's doing, but she hasn't confused me in the sense that she did something and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And that's 6. Still 3 minutes left, and we're at 6 losses. Sushi, when mark an object after a turn, every ball thrown gets thrown from that object. Oh. I mean, that sounds good. So that's what all those dark spirits are, I assume? All those dark spirits let you throw a ball from that location. Right. I'm gonna throw. Whee. I'm gonna throw. The dark spirits are her second skill. It's a normal ball, but gets more power the more objects that have dark spirits on them. Oh. Okay. Okay. Seven. Last second. We're at 7. Skibbity. Oh, chat, did you see that Bubsy? Bubsy came out, the 4D Bubsy. The 4th dimension Bubsy. I don't have any interest in Bubsy because, well, quite frankly, why would I? But like, you know, if it's a good platformer, that's pretty good. Right? A good platformer is a good platformer. Even if I think Bubsy is a fucking... The only reason it's getting any attention is because Bubsy is such a monumental failure of a series. That whatever this was is like, why are we even bringing this guy back to life? But hey, if it's good, it's good. I mean, Ukulele got a redoing. Because Ukulele came out to pretty mediocre review. And they made a new version of it that essentially... addressed most of the issues that people have with the original release of it. I don't know exactly what those were, but that's nice, I guess. I guess it's nice. Ukulele kind of had a lot of hype behind it because, you know, it was supposed to be Banjo again. But funny thing about Banjo, people talk about Banjo-Kazooie like it's one of the greatest games ever made. Like, Banjo-Kazooie is one of the greatest games to ever grace us on the 64 in any form of game ever. And then you ask somebody about Banjo-Tooie and they fucking look at you like you just kicked their dog. What the fuck did Banjo-Tooie do? And then Nuts and Bolts exists as well, but you know. Banjo is a weird trilogy, isn't it? Oh, what a sink. That's 8 or is that 9? I think that's actually 9. Oh, perfect timing. All right. Alright. Start her back up again. I played Banjo-Kazooie, I just never finished it. The last thing I did was I cleared out Mad Monster Manor. I had to go to Rusty Bucket Bay and I just didn't. There was one part about that game that really annoyed me. And that was that if you died at any point, it reset all the fucking music notes you collected. Why? Why do you have to collect all 100 music notes on one fucking life? That is so annoying. We live in an age of convenience now, where, you know, everything is catered towards our baby gamer needs, but seriously, that's a pretty fucking severe punishment for a goddamn baby game. Collect 100 notes in a level. Oh, what's that? You fell in a pit and died? Well, here's your record. New record, 37 notes. Get back to collecting them all, asshole. Like, come on, man. You're just wasting my time. That's 1, by the way. That's 1. Fly, Hina. Well, she didn't really fly. Well, that's 2. Never mind. Goodbye. Features in video games that, like, seem arbitrary in the sense that if, like, you just lose progress for the sake of losing progress, I don't like those very much. Manual saves can be pretty bad for that, but manual saves are a little different. Manual saves are they're just kind of expected. Auto-saving wasn't really a thing back then. The limiting of where you could save was a thing as well. I'm sure there's plenty of games where you can accidentally fuck yourself. Great. Like Rune Factory 1. I love that Rune Factory 1 is a game that at any point you can simply brick your save file because you can save inside of a dungeon. You can save inside of a dungeon in a condition where you could never hope to get out of the dungeon before you die. And if you die in a dungeon, you game over and go back to your last save. How the fuck that got through testing is beyond me. Because my ass fell for it. I fucking softlocked my first file in the first dungeon. I got hit by the mute spell, so I couldn't use go home magic, and I used up all of the healing items I had in my bag and also in the dungeon. So I could not physically get out of the dungeon in time before I died to poison, and so my save file was over. I had to restart the entire game. So yeah. Now before you say like, well, it seems like a pretty obvious thing to not fucking save at a save point while you're poisoned and you have no way of dealing with it, you fucking moron. And you'd be right. But the thing is, the game designers are supposed to take people like me into account when they make their games. Let's see, how do we prevent an actual fucking slobbering moron from ruining his game experience? We assume that they're not a slobbery moron and we call it a day. That sounds like a great idea. And then the slobbery moron gets his hands on the video game and suddenly the game is fucked. Bricked. Can't get out of it. God damn it. I can't break my gem. Whatever. I'm at like 5 or 6. I forgot. I think I'm at 5 though. I'm gonna go with 5 losses. Soft locks in video games are funny like that. But most games are pretty good about avoiding that kind of thing. Rune Factory is not exactly a fucking AAA series, mind you, but yeah. What can you do? What can you do? That's why I'm a good QA tester. I'm a good QA tester because I end up doing things by accident. You don't even have to pay me. I play a game on stream and I find some kind of bug report. It's actually kind of funny. The amount of things that I find in video games by accident. It's just like, oops, well, we'll have to fix that, won't we? I'm really good at that. I remember one time I was playing Sonic 2 and I went up a ramp and I got stuck in the wall. To be honest, I'm not even sure what happened with that one. But I was in Chemical Plant and I was going up a ramp and then suddenly Sonic stopped moving and then he was inside the wall and I was just like, what? Why'd he do that? I was very confused. There she goes. That's 6 losses. 6 losses from me, El Streamo. Do you think you could get soft locked in an RPG? Can you get soft locked in an RPG? Or would you really have to fucking try to do that? Oh, she touched the knife and went ouchie. Like let's say for example you're at like the final boss and you can't beat the final boss and you save, but you also Rumia's and cut in half. But then you can't get out of the dungeon to go like heal or level up anymore, so you're just like fucking fucked. Like, does that happen? I guess RPGs usually, their save points also function as like teleports or heal spots or shit like that, right? Alright, we stabbed Hina on every single sword. Good job. I don't know. Well, mainline Pokemon, Red, Blue, and Red, Blue, Yellow had the issue with the machine drink, where if you spent all your money and removed all means of getting money in the game, you couldn't buy a drink to go to Saffron. The thing is, I guess you could say you could catch Meowth. Because Meowth has payday, and that's how you make money. But if you don't have Pokeballs to catch Meowth, then you can't catch Meowth. But also, Meowth doesn't exist in Yellow version. You can't catch Meowth in Yellow version. So, that was changed in Fire and Leaf Green to be a key item, the T. You could also sequence break if you, like a randomizer, if you rolled one of those drink items, which is cool. You could go into Saffron at any point if you had a freshwater, a soda pop, or a lemonade. But yeah, they made it a key item. Which actually confused me as a kid because I couldn't figure out how to get to Saffron. Tactics is a fight where you can get soft lock your protagonist not strong enough to 1v1 a fight. How far into the game is that? She went nowhere. Late game. Oh, that's the best. I've told this one before, but I got soft locked in Skyward Sword. Because in Skyward Sword there's a nasty bug where when you get to the part, wow, nice throw. When you get to the dragon part of the game, if you go to the wrong area first, you activate like the dragon but you deactivate other dragons. So I went to Lineru first and started the Lineru dragon. But the Lineru dragon you can't do until you get the seed that you get from the water dragon. But now the water dragon and the fire dragon, their events were locked out because I started a Lineru dragon. So anyway, I restarted the entirety of Skyward Sword and played through the entire game again. And if you don't know, the dragons is like the last thing in the game before you do the final dungeon to get the Triforce, and then you fight the final boss. So I effectively beat Skyward Sword twice. I found out later that there is a patch that you could download on the Wii Shop to fix that bug. Wish I'd known about that before I beat Skyward Sword twice. So basically what I'm saying is I will never play Skyward Sword again because I've played enough Skyward Sword to last a fucking lifetime. Should have checked if there was a game-saving patch on the Wii Shop channel. Maybe Nintendo should have checked they didn't ship a faulty product. Huh? You're gonna blame the consumer on this one? Fuck you. Leave my multi-billion-dollar company alone. Yes. Yes. Haven't you ever wanted to be part of like a meeting when I have no idea what that was. I don't know what I just did, but okay. Like, do you think like when they're talking about this stuff they have like people testing it? Or do you think they just kind of discuss ideas and they think like, "Oh, but what if somebody does this?" Like, how far does the design rabbit hole go? How thorough is testing to avoid these things? Nowadays, modern problems require modern solutions, which is to say that if a game-breaking bug happens in a game, you can just patch it out later. Chat, wasn't there a Star Wars game that came out some time ago that had a game-breaking bug where the game would straight up just, like, crash at a certain point in the game? And so nobody could actually finish the game. And it was, I mean, obviously it's a big deal because A, they fucking shipped a game that you can't, like, beat. But also because there were tons of reviews for the game that were talking about the game as if they had beaten it. And then when the game came out, they found out, like, hey, this game's actually currently unbeatable because of this bug, which means every single review or article that was written about the game that claimed that was just straight up faulty. They lied. Video game journalism lied. Not my video game journalism. How could they lie like that? I trusted them to tell me all that was good about video game. They didn't even play it. What if they did play it? What if they played it for 5 seconds and were like, alright, this is goaty. Hands down, best game I've ever played. Best game I will ever play. Wow. It's like 8 losses now. Do you think any game reviewer has ever put an honest review of a video game in any article at all? Like, full-blown honesty. Where it's just like, yeah, I played this game, and I gotta say, this game's actually kind of fucking Omega ass. Because, like, what's the point of having a video game review if they're not allowed to say anything that doesn't, like, make it sound good? Because it's like, we're gonna review this game, it's bad, that's defamation. That's defamation, you'll never work in this town again. Like, what's the point of a review if you know if they say something bad, they get blacklisted so they can't review it anymore? Like, how are you supposed to believe reviews when you know how this shit goes down behind closed doors? That's why you trust random YouTubers, because random YouTubers don't get a fucking paycheck to tell you a game sucks or a game is good. That's why they're more trustworthy. It doesn't matter if it's some dude with like fucking 5 views. It doesn't matter. He's way more honest than a video game journalist. That motherfucker got nothing to gain or nothing to lose. I don't know what you just did. Oh, you put the Hina magnet. Well, that's embarrassing, wouldn't you say? Well, that's embarrassing, wouldn't you say? It's not over yet. I can still turn this around. That's 10. I want to write a scathing review on Hina 2ndBreak. This game is so fucking annoying. How you play it, you queue up, and you hit a shot that's so fucking good that your opponent doesn't even have to think anymore, and they score. Like, wow, your first shot pretty much put Hina 95% of the way to the hole, and your opponent's like, flick, and then they get all the credit for winning, and you're like, this is the worst game I ever played. And then you queue up for your next match. And you do that for about 2 hours, and then you stop playing. Sounds about right. Alright, if I win this game, I do 10. If I lose this game, I do 11. I don't know what you just did, but Hina fell over. Whee! Good. 10 it is. I'll be back. That's BS. Based streamer, I agree. That's pretty good. Alright. Starter up. 15. Coming in. In. Now. You again. Bomba. Bomba be the man. I watched Battle Beat a Man on the cartoons. Like every single fucking toy got an anime, didn't it? Like Beyblade. There's a surprising amount of Beyblade. There's also Bakugan. Bakugan is well, Bakugan was. There was Chaotix. You know Chaotix? Did you ever see Chaotix? Pretty sure that one was all Western. I don't understand the rules of Bakugan. I mean, I watched the first season of the show, kind of. But I don't get the rules. They roll a ball with a magnet under them and they turn into an enemy, and then they activate cards from their hand or cards on their field, and it just like it's like activate card, spike grippy, and then it's like my guy gets 300 big ones, and then dude's like ability card activate torch toenail, and now he actually gets 450. And then the other guy's like, what? I don't have any cards for this. And then they lose the... Like, I don't understand the game. I don't understand what's happening. They just keep flashing cards at each other until somebody doesn't have any fucking cards left to flash. And then suddenly the guy dies. They have power levels inscribed on them, I think. There's like a turtle and a dragon. The main character's name is Dan. That's right. Daniel. He's best friends with Miku. Her name's not Miku. She looks like Miku. That's another one. Is that 2 or that 3? Probably 2. There are some card... Chat. Oh my god. Do you remember Duel Masters? Holy shit. I never watched Duel Masters. I never played Duel Masters. I don't know what Duel Masters is even like. But I remember Duel Masters because my ass was like, this is not Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't care. Yu-Gi-Oh was that's what I liked. I don't know what the fuck Duel Masters was. I still don't. You know what Card Fight Vanguard is? I remember Card Fight Vanguard was showing up on advertisements for me fucking everywhere. Never watched it. Don't know what it is. Do not care. Well, I should say I did not care, but I don't see that shit anymore. What the fuck was Card Fight Vanguard? The game is a manga adaptation of Magic: The Gathering before branching off in 2002. Really? And it's called Duel Masters. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh! The game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is called Duel Monsters. Like, alright. I ain't saying nothing, but I ain't saying nothing. Infringerino. Were they both owned by Konami? Somehow I doubt that, but you can copyright anything you want. Oh, that reminds me. There's a card game. I don't remember what it's called, but it's some kind of fucking card game, and it's basically just like, here's every character from literally anything ever, and we put them on trading cards, and I guess you can play a card game with them. I don't remember what the fuck that was called, but there were literally like any fucking copyrighted character you could think of existed as a playable card in that game. And I'm not talking about Magic and their goddamn extended universe shit. Why Schwartz? Yeah, whatever that you just said. Whatever the fuck you just said. That's 4, by the way. What is that game? Is that game good? Is that game good, or is it just a way to sell plastic to nerds? Genuine question, because like I said, the cards are literally just characters from different IPs. I'm not even playing it seriously. How do you even play it? Can you explain the rules? It's more of a collector thing. How are you gonna make a card game and call it a collector thing as if every single fucking card game isn't already a collector thing? People only open packs of it, never even playing it. I love the world and all that we live for. I love it. That's right. I'm gonna spend $10.99 on a booster pack, and it's gonna be full of cards. And then I'm gonna look at the cards, and it's not gonna have the super secret rare that I have, and then I'm gonna throw all the cards into the incinerator. $10 gone. Give me another pack, John. Card games are physical gacha. Physical gacha. We have phone gacha, but before phone gacha, it was cards, baby. You went and you bought a $5 booster pack, and you were looking for a card. You were looking for your big card. And then 2 months later, you were looking for the next big card because the next big card was so good for the meta you needed to have it. I need a mechanical chaser. How much? $250 in 1999 money. $250. Why mechanical juggler? Well, because he has 1850 attack. He has 50 more attack than La Jinn, the genie of the lamp. So he was a coveted, but he was only ever released in special booster packs for tournament. Tournament edition booster pack. He was like a rare in that pack. And he was the strongest 4-star monster in the game. So, you know, if you wanted to compete with the best of the best, you needed to get your hands on a mechanical chaser. However, the people who owned the mechanical chasers were the people who were using them and didn't want other people to use them, so they bought them all up so nobody else would be able to use them. It's like literally what Kaiba did. There was another card like that as well. I think it was one of the jars. I want to say it was Cyber Jar or Morphing Jar. But there was another instance where one of these jars was like a secret rare or some shit in one of these tournament packs. So it was a super rare and valuable card, and it was also an extremely powerful card. Those jar cards are all fucking awful. Fiber Jar is a piece of shit. Anybody who thought Fiber Jar was a good idea should probably not be allowed to make Yu-Gi-Oh cards anymore. Good riddance. Oh, you activated my Fiber Jar. What does he do? He resets the entire fucking game state minus life points. Does he? He sure does. Take your entire graveyard in hand, shuffle it into your deck, and draw 5 cards again. We're doing the duel over. The whole duel starts over, minus the life point changes. Does that include Fiber Jar? It certainly does. If you kill Fiber Jar, he shuffles right back in the deck, and he can do it again. He can do it again. He can do it as many times as he wants, as long as he's played on the field. Crush Card was like that, too. It was worse because tournament prize card and teams of players were handing the copies around they won to get even more. See, when people want to win, one Kina, they be doing shit like that. But yeah, like Crush Card, if you're unfamiliar with Crush Card, it was and still is a pretty good card. It was a very, very extremely powerful card that effectively just like booby trapped your opponent's deck and made some of their monsters just flat out unplayable. I don't think it was as powerful in the real world as it was in the anime, but it was still a quite powerful card. And it was like you said, it was a tournament reward card. So the people who had the card were the people winning the tournaments, and they were not, it's one of those the rich get richer type of deals. We're like, wow, the people who already have all like the meta shit for the best decks are now getting one of the stupidest cards ever created. Like, they didn't need it. It's time for my Hina. I watched a video on, like, early Yu-Gi-Oh! Before. It was very fascinating. Like, just like the era of, like, early 2000s. Where, because if you don't know, the OCG for Yu-Gi-Oh! Was out in Japan for quite a while prior to us getting it overseas. So they had a drip line of monsters, but when the game came overseas, like the first 4 or 5 packs that were released in Japan were just kind of combined and turned into one set. So in the very first set of monsters in Japan, the strongest monster that you could play without a sacrifice was Hitatsumi Giant. Hitatsumi Giant with his 1200 attack. And then after a while it became La Jin with his 1800. But by the time it all came out overseas, like, it either all came out at the same time or it came out in such a quick succession that, like, it basically started with La Jin. The earliest forms of competitive decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Were Summon Skull. Summon Skull beatdown decks, because Summon Skull was a monster that you did 1 sacrifice and you got 2500 attack. And because he only had 1200 defense, you could search him with Sangen. Or was it Witch of the Black Forests? That's one of those two. Early Yu-Gi-Oh! Also has some of the straight up strongest spells in the entire series because their effects are so straightforward that they're actually too powerful. Like, one of them is just draw 2 cards. That's it. One of the strongest cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Was just a draw 2. The Forceful Sentry. Solemn Judgment. Painful Choice. Painful Choice, I think, became better over time because it was, that was an era where sending cards to the graveyard was not good, but then eventually it became like, I want to put cards in the graveyard because the graveyard is my second deck. Graceful Charity. Yeah, these are all very simple cards in theory, but in practice, they were really strong. Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, Harpy's Feather Duster, just full-on board wipe cards. Torrential Tribute. I like that they made cards in the future called Triple Tactics, there are these cards. They were called Triple Tactics cards, and they had a requirement for them to activate. But if you got the requirements for them to activate, they essentially let you play one of these ban cards effects. So I thought that was pretty cool. They effectively brought all of these old broken ass cards back, compile them into one card that has a prerequisite for being able to use it. And it's not an easy one, considering what it lets you do. But I thought that was cool. But no, I was saying, like, essentially the oldest form of Yu-Gi-Oh! Was just get La Jin, have 3 copies of La Jin, because he has 1800, and the only thing in the game that can reasonably beat over La Jin was Summon Skull, which required a tribute. So you get a Summon Skull on the board, and you pretty much win. Because the only thing in the game that could beat over Summon Skull was Blue Eyes White Dragon. And good fucking luck getting a Blue Eyes White Dragon on the field in an era where every spell and trap in the game is just like, your monster? Bye-bye. Goodbye. See you later. I sacrificed my 2 monsters to summon my Blue Eyes White Dragon. I activate Trap Hole. I win. Everybody's gonna Trap Hole. Opponent needs to activate a monster effect in your main phase. Ah. That makes sense, considering how strong monster effects are. Yeah, no, I remember, it was like a 2-hour video. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it if you're interested. It just kind of overviews really old Yu-Gi-Oh meta from the early stages where the best decks in the game were just summoning monsters with big numbers and really simple traps and spells. The next monster to come after Summon Skull, I believe, was Jinzo. And Jinzo decks started kind of coming up. Because Jinzo was Summon Skull with 100 less attack and prevented your opponent from using trap cards. You tried your best. If I lose this, it's 12. If I win, it's 11. The hand trap you, they lose the duel because they can now look at your hand and take away another hand trap of your starter. Do they lose the... Are you sure they lose the duel for that? I don't think you lose the duel because you see your opponent's hand. I don't know about that. I guess if you have something in your hand that is required to actually play the game and then you lose it, then yeah, you lose it. But isn't that why the pointer of the Red Lotus got banned? Pointer and the Red Lotus was like one of the last cards that allowed you to look at your opponent's hand in some capacity to get banned. It was a trap card. But it was used a lot, and eventually they were like, no more of that. Well, like, Forceful Sentry was insane, because the Forceful Sentry was just look at your opponent's hand, pick one card, and tell him to go fuck himself. So, like, not only did you get to look at your opponent's hand, you could see every card in their hand. You could just pick a card and be like, nope, see ya. Like, why does that card have so many? That card does so much, and it's just some fat asshole being like, stop! Show me your hand! That's it. They made a counter card to him, didn't they? Well, not a counter card. But, it was the Delightful Sentry, right? Doesn't he do, like, the opposite? Yeah, Delinquent Duo. Oh, I didn't hit the timer. Oops. Shit. Delinquent Duo rips 2. I don't remember the specifics to it. I think it's funny when cards become broken by accident. Or when a card is clearly broken, but they refuse to ban it because it's too integral to the face of the game. So they ban every other fucking card that benefits from it, and they never actually ban the main offender. So There's like 5 cards that are banned because they can do something stupid with another card instead of just banning the one that enables all 5 of them. That's one. It comes back. The card comes back. Some cards are just accidentally too strong. I do think it's neat when certain things in metagames become relevant just because they have a number of aspects to them that simply line up to be favorable against other things that are more common and more universally, like, good. But because those things are so good that, like, having such a strong counterplay to them, even though the niche of the counterplay is pretty limited to, it's pretty limited to it, I think that can be kind of neat. But it depends on how much, it really depends on how much, how integral it is. If it's a matter of, it's a neat counter for a strategy that you're probably going to see, versus it's absolutely required that you bring this in a competitive format, because if you don't, you will simply lose to what it's supposed to stop. That's the difference. The idea that you have to bring something or you will just straight up lose because there's nothing else in the game that handles it, that's bad. If it's just like a niche pick that does really well in a matchup and it can catch somebody off guard, that's cool. I like those. Oh, she fixed her position. Mushroom Man 2. That's my guy. That's my guy. Mushroom, I forget what the context for him was, but there was something that he was doing that was working very well. I watched a video before on the topic, and I know he came up. I just can't remember the details. I'm not too into Yu-Gi-Oh to remember specifics, but I do sometimes watch duel logs, and I'm like, huh, fascinating. In fact, the most fascinating part about most of the explanations he does for the game is, like, it sounds like the game is miserable to play. There's always, like, this bit where he's just like, you know, in Yu-Gi-Oh, like, you only have, like, 0 turns, otherwise your opponent just fucking blasts you. And, you know, if you draw the wrong card, you don't have it. Like, it's just the way he be talking about the game sometimes, and, like, how is anybody having fun from turn 1? He can summon a monster to the opponent's field, and the best deck needed to control no monsters. Ah, that's what it was. Mushroom Man! He's so handsome. I just watch because I like where he just talks about why cards are like bad. I think it's funny. I think it's funny when he just talks about why cards are bad. The current state of Yu-Gi-Oh is so far from what I know of Yu-Gi-Oh that it's very fascinating. I think I'm at 3 losses. I wasn't paying attention. Where'd she go? Dude, every time I get her smacked in the fucking middle. That's 4. Goodbye, me. Boop. Card games are. Oh my god, dude. Hina. Five. 5. Do you guys know anything about the Pokemon card game? Actually, that reminds me. What happened to the online card game simulator for Pokemon? Is that still around? I recall the first couple weeks of that where people just kind of pulled their free packs and other people complained that the meta was ruined by Badoo. That is literally all I know about the state of what that online simulator was. It was people just pulling cards for fun and other people complaining that that Badoo is running the meta. They killed the old one and made a new one. What? When? The fuck did they do that? Confusing. What did Badoo do? What did she do? Why is she the strongest monster? The most powerful card in Duel Monsters. I'm pretty sure it's something to do with her Poké Power, right? I think it was like Yatagarasu type effect. That's probably what it was. It prevented the opponent from playing the game if it got a hit in some capacity, so you just stall burned your opponent. I remember I saw a video that was like, why this card is ruining the Pokemon TCG, and it was just a picture in the thumbnail of the Badoo, and I read the Poké Power, and I was like, oh, got it. I read the Poké Power, immediately understood what the problem was, and did not watch the video. For 0 energy, it doesn't let your opponent play items for 1 turn. Ah. So yeah, it locks you from playing the game. Holy shit, look at her go. Oh, Hina. We're at 7, maybe 8, I don't know. Don't get Yata locked. Don't get Yata locked. Come on, man, I'm running out of time. I haven't played Pokemon TCG since like Gen 4 was the new stuff on the block, which is it's quite old, I know. I do know that nowadays a lot of cards have a fucking enormous amount of health. There is an absolutely enormous health pool for like regular Pokemon. Also, they made a type. It was either fairy or dragon, but they introduced a new type into the game and then they took them out because I guess they were just a pain in the ass. Dragons have always kind of been normal and they use different elements, which made them a pain in the ass to actually use. But I seem to recall they got their own type. In early meta for Pokemon, when Dark and Steel types became types, their energies were not commons. So if you don't know, in the Pokemon TCG, you can only have 4 copies of a card in the deck, with the exception of energies. You can have as many energies as you want. However, the Dark energies and the Steel energies were not basic energy cards, so you could only have 4 of them in the deck. So if you wanted to have a Dark or a Steel deck, you had 4 fucking energies for them. The energies came with additional effects, but yeah, they were effectively specialties. And they became common energies at some point. Gen 4 Heart Gold and Silver expansions when the original Pokemon Online client started. I thought the first one was actually the one that they talked about like 2 years ago now, I think. Anyway, they did eventually change it, but yeah, because when Dark Energies, when they are equipped, they increased base power by 10, and when Metal Energies were attached, they decreased damage you take by 10. The Pokemon TCG also had the Delta species, which were Pokemon of different types, which were really fascinating. But they didn't really do a whole lot with those, did they? Another Gold Hina. You could have different Pokemon. Now, a weird one was that they actually had shinies as well. They had shinies at some point in a couple TCG sets, and they weren't really like amazing Pokemon. Like some of them, 2 keys. I should say some of them, some Pokemon cards were just shiny. Like as in the Pokemon in the set was just like shiny. But there were actually a special type of Pokemon where they had the gold star next to their name and they were shiny. And they had a little disclaimer on the card that you were only allowed to have 1 shiny Pokemon in your deck at a time. And I don't know why, because the shiny Pokemon themselves weren't like game-breaking Pokemon, but they just said no. You can only have 1 in the deck. Now maybe they had some kind of synergy with trainer cards or something, but honestly I don't know. I was very... Oh, Hina! Okay. I don't know why they did that. See, that had EXs were introduced in Gen 3, and if you knocked out an EXmon, you drew 2 prize cards. And now they have like Gigantic G-Max X Gold Rim Full Art motherfuckers, and if you kill them, you draw 3 prize cards. Chat, I told you the story of the guy who pissed on the table, right? We're at 9 or 10, I don't know. Some guy lost in a one prize to 6 prize lead. He lost the game, got reversed 6-0'd essentially, and then he just got up and pissed on the table. Radiant cards are like that. You can only play 1 copy because they're good. No, I'm talking about like the Gen 3 sets. Like Crystal Guardians. That's old. That's fucking RSE era. They just had shiny Pokemon that weren't very good. They were just shiny, and they said, hey, you can only have 1 in your deck at a time. I know this because Andrew had a Mewtwo card. It was a shiny Mewtwo. It was a basic Pokemon. It needed 3 energies to do like 40. Fucking sucked. It's a fucking shitty card. But yeah, you could only have 1 shiny in your deck because they were too rare. Why do you do that? How this came to mind? I could try to understand the psychology of a table pisser. We could sit here and establish what goes through the mind of somebody like that, but there's no real reason to. At the end of the day, we can just say it's somebody who plays Pokemon competitively. And honestly, I don't think there's anything more I need to say about that. Now, that sounds pretty derogatory, a little inflammatory even, and just straight up rude. But like, what else do you want me to say? The simple fact of the matter is this is somebody who plays competitive Pokemon. And they pissed on a table because they lost. That's all. That's literally it. What else do I have to say? Did nobody stop him? Bro, if somebody stood up and whipped it out and just started fucking processing natural lemonade on your table, are you gonna run over there and fucking clasp your hands and try to pipe that leak? Like, no. You're gonna sit there and look at him and be like, wow, somebody's gonna get fired for that. Like, what do you even do in that situation except watch? You're not gonna run over there and stop him. You cannot stop that what has started at that point. Have you ever tried to stop yourself mid-piss? That doesn't work, bro. You try to stop yourself mid-piss, your entire body is like, no! No, that's impossible! We've already begun. Well, that was an impressive maneuver you did there. Excellent. I'm gonna go do 12 push-ups. The squeak of the otter is cute. Why he did that, though? I mean, if you lost a video game, a card game even that badly, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you get up and piss on the table? It's called subdecking. Or side decking. Bro was playing a grass deck, and then round 2 he decided he was playing a water deck. Alright? It's just that his opponent didn't really, his opponent didn't like that. Neither did the spectators, judges, or just general public. Nobody was ready for that side deck. Sorry, not deck, deck. Very common misconception. You know, happens all the time. What is this goofy ass shit? Alright, chat. We're gonna do 20 minutes on this last one. I'll start it after this game, and that'll be the end of Hina. Forever. I'm gonna put her back in her box, and then I'm gonna forget about her like Toy Story 3. That one doesn't count towards my push-ups, at least, because I didn't start the timer yet. Alright. Let's go. 20 minutes, last set. Good. Oh. You dare use my own spells against me, Potter? Let's go to the Hina box. My name is Hina. Oh, god damn it. Tay 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 tay. Tay 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 tay. Wow. Activate business transferal. You know, you gotta wonder, what do the denizens of Gensokyo even use money for? Like, what do they use money for? I know Rainbow probably uses money to buy food, but like, what the fuck does Tay do with money? What does she do with money? Like, does she invest it? For what point? Purpose? What is she doing with cash? Why does she care about money so much? It just seems like she doesn't care about money, she just cares about swindling people. She does it for the love of the game. Like, what other explanation is there? She likes looking at it like Mr. Krabs. Money, 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 money. I like, we know what Jun does with it. Jun just likes spending money because she likes spending money. She's kind of a freak. But like, there's a lot of characters in Toho that don't really care about money or even really seem to think much about it. The Kappas care, but I think it's because the Kappas invest their money into more things and so they can, you know, continue creating. For the gods, money is tied to faith. High faith, high money, high donations, etc., etc. But Marissa doesn't seem to care much about money, right? Marissa lives off the wilds, and she just takes things that she wants anyway. Like, she doesn't really need money, because she doesn't fucking spend money. Sakurai doesn't really spend money. Vermilia seems to have an endless question mark source of wealth at her disposal, but she doesn't really seem to care about money, despite her being really, like, you know, looks like she comes from money. Yuko looks like she comes from money as well, but she's dead, so, like, does she care about money? Aante doesn't care about money, but they still do the whole spiel because they understand that, like, that's how they should handle being part of, like, society. They provide a service and they receive compensation for their service, Because if they did it all for free, it would be suspicious. So they offer a service. But truthfully, they don't need money. That's why, like I said, Tay just doesn't need money, but she just fucking loves taking people's money. It's not that she wants it, it's just she doesn't want you to have it. So there is a lot of characters who money is just not a thing that they care about. The economy of Gensokyo barely matters. There's very few characters that really care about cash. It's just our lovable main character, Reimu, cares so much about big fat stacks of money. So I guess it's because she cares so much about money that we feel like money is more of a topical thing in general. But it's just because the most common character we see is usually talking about it. So it makes us feel like it's more prevalent than it actually is. But for the most part, money barely matters. You didn't earn that win. I gave it to you. We're at 4, by the way. I think it's pretty neat. The heal the money they gain will get eventually run out of money. I don't know. You would assume the economy of Gensokyo is finite, right? You would assume it's finite because circulation is only within it. But I don't know, because there are wealthy people within the human village. Remember the salt merchant? The salt merchant the salt merchant ate a horse, and then the horse turned to a yokai and killed him. He was rich. He was wealthy. The Hieda family is wealthy. They're a prestigious family, so they definitely have money. But, like, there are other places... Like, how much money actually exists within the economy of Gensokyo itself? Now, Yukari can bring in more money, is the thing. And she's been seen doing that, kind of. There's a scene in Sengetsusei where she visits Reimu and she slips a 20 into the donation box. She slipped a 20 into the donation box behind Reimu's back, and I'm assuming based on what the bill looked like that it's modern money, so it's not money it's money that she didn't originally have in Gensokyo and she got from somewhere else, so she added to the economy in that way. So it's possible that some of the characters who can venture outside do end up bringing some cash back, and they do kind of increase the amount of total revenue that exists within Gensokyo itself. But it is probably a limited economy. It's just a matter of how limited is it. It's not like there's a lot of people who live in Gensokyo that live really, like, prestigiously. There is, obviously, the Scarlet Double Mansion, but... The Scarlet Double Mansion kind of has its own source of wealth. Somehow. It's because who's his family rich? No. They run a bookstore. You think of rich people who run a bookstore? Rich people don't fucking run anything. They run a successful trade of a necessity or a luxury. That's how you're rich. Books are a thing in that, I assume in that time frame, where books are more of a luxury, but not so much of a luxury that only, like, rich people are coming to fucking buy books. We're at 5, by the way. Alright, ready? Here comes the biggest Hina you've ever seen. Are you serious? What was that, Hina? Aku doesn't work. What are you talking about? Aku's entire, like, existence is revolved around her completing the Gensokyo Chronicle. That is her work. Do you think that it's not work just because he doesn't get paid for it? Do you think you have to receive an hourly compensation for anything to be considered work? We're at 7, by the way. Spends her whole goddamn life categorizing yokai. Then she dies for 100 years and comes back. That's what she does. What a life. Live to 30 and then go do hard labor for the Yamas for 100 years so you can come back and do more hard labor for 30 years. Then you can die again. And then you can come back 100 years later and then you can continue writing your stupid fucking book. Fuck you. It's been 120 years. Yep, everything's still the same. Except now all of my friends are gone. Oh. Well, now I made myself sad. My point is she's still rich without pay. What? What are you talking about? Do you know what a rich kid is? Do you understand that some people are born and their parents have money So they don't work a day in their life and their net worth is 3 times yours and mine together? You understand that, right? The biggest financial mistake you ever made was being born to a poor household. Hina is part of the Miyare family. They are prestigious. She has money, she has servants, but she herself does not have any money. She didn't earn her fortune. But it's hers. She didn't earn it, but it's hers. I think Aki's got a pretty shit deal on it, but at the same time, she does retain memories of everything she'd done prior, which I think is fascinating. So she's not immortal, but she's the next closest thing to immortal you can get. She constantly comes back as a different new person, but she retains her memories and like experiences, sort of her past lives. So she's constantly coming back, but the problem with that is every time she comes back, she basically has to start anew because nobody that she knows can possibly be alive 100 years later. But it's not like a new life where she doesn't have those like past acquaintances. Now, there are some people who will probably be around long enough, like Kane, except Kane will probably disappear because Zun hates Kane and doesn't let her do anything. But Kane is definitely the most likely to be around for the longest amount of time, relative to people in the human village that would be, like, you know, on good terms with Aku. Reimu would be gone, Marissa would be gone, Sakurai would be gone, but although Sakurai is not really, you know, Kozuzu would be gone. Everybody would be gone, and Aku would be sad. Ha 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 ha. But Kane would be there. Kane would be there, and Kane would go, hello. And Aku would say hello, and then they would never speak again because Kane doesn't get speaking roles. Poor Kane. Why'd he do it? Why'd he say it? Why'd he say it like that? Why is he a hater? Can I be Aku's friend? Can I be Aku's friend? If she dies and comes back, can I be her friend? I don't think I could be Aku's friend. The only way I could be Aku's friend is if I broke into her house and stole her chronicle. And then she would have to lock me up and sentence me to death. Then I would just have to be really dark, brooding, and or mysterious. And then she would be so fascinated by me that we would hit it off. Yeah. Yeah, the plan's in motion. Oh yes, it's all coming together. Oh yes. Oh yes, boys. I know how to play it, alright? I read the reports. I know how to get away with it. I was gonna get locked up in the secret Hieda dungeon for burglary. And then convince her that I'm so fucking cool while I'm locked up behind the bars. My second Rainbow Hina this stream. Is it gonna be your first Rainbow Hina that you won? Hmm? I wanna know what the jackpot gives you. I lost as I was typing that. Oh. How many points did you get for failing? Do you get the same amount for a golden Hina, or do you get like 5,000 or something? I imagine you get a lot, pity points. Nothing? You get nothing? I got $50,000 for winning on that Hina, and you got nothing? That's crazy. That's insane. Whee! I got 4,000 points. I just don't understand why it wouldn't give you any points, because the golden Hina gives you a fat stack just by losing because of the rarity of it. Okay, well we're currently at like 10. I forgot. Chat, there's 2 songs left in the queue. There's 2 songs left. You might wanna get to work on that. Whee! Doink. Oh. Oh. 12. That said Forget Me Not. I thought it was the Silent Hill music. That would get Omega claimed. It's a pretty funky image. Eggs. Egg. Boy. We're down to the last 5 minutes of Hina. I repeat, not a drill. The last 5 minutes of Hina. And this song is 5.5 minutes long. Oh my god. Alright. Chat, I haven't faced... I'm not gonna tell you, actually. I'm not gonna tell you, because then you're gonna ruin it by changing your character. You ate my coin. Go, Hina, roll! Thank you. Currently at 12. Haven't seen the Alice guy. That's DSKD. You put some respect on his name. He's not... He is the Alice player. He ain't on today. He saw me log on. He got off. He wasn't ready. I like playing that guy just because I want to see what kind of shit he comes up with on levels. I don't even care about winning the game. I just want to see what the fuck he does with Alice's dolls to somehow create some kind of fucking machine to win on every level. That's what I'm there for. 13. Oops. You can make Hina Brazilian by dropping another gem while there's a gem down. Did you know that? Brazilian Hina! She's stuck. Good. Good. Alrighty. Okay, we got 13. Then I'm gonna go open my Hina boxes. Will I see a rainbow Hina today? Another one? I wonder how rare they are. We saw a couple golden Hinas. I don't think I lost one. I think I've had 2 golden Hinas and I won them both. I've won like 4 keys today. I won $50,000 and 4 keys. I'm fucking loaded on cash and keys. What do you use the keys for? I hold them in my inventory so I can look at and acknowledge how many keys I have. That's what I use keys for. It's a number that I can look at and be like, wow. $3,000 points. Why did the text on the side of the screen turn light green? Ultimate Cutie Hina. I've never been that rank. The closest I've ever been was 1 game away from being that rank. Unfortunately, I play a low tier, so I have to earn my wins by hoping my opponent fucks up. I don't play a character who can actually win on their own skill and merit alone. I play a character who has to benefit from other players fucking up. Ah! You can post Cove if you want, but it's true. Low tier characters are low tier because they rely more on your opponent fucking up than your actual kit being good. Good characters are able to win consistently. That's why they're good. Bad characters are not consistent. That's why they're bad. 14. Alright, this is the last game. This is it. Don't get scared now. This is the last game. Okay, never mind. I don't lose any points. I take 350. That's 15 push-ups for me. Alright, anything new in the shop? No. 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 Say Toramaru. Cat pajama. Giant? Okay. Diary B. Santa 2025. Rewrite. Jogging. Detective. Nothing new for you. Kokoro mask I think is new. Yeah, I saw that earlier. Someone was using it. What? Negative Yomu, silhouette Yomu. Why? Nothing new for you two. Nothing new for you. Nothing new for Cherno. Bird. Student and hoodie. I don't remember that one. Wow. Tagane. Ame soup. Whoa! Whoa! Turn pale. Tea time, Alice. Okay. Nothing new. Wait. Okay, yeah. Kind of blended into each other. Steampunk, nothing new. Queen Bee, nothing new. Oh, wait. Oh. Big ass hammer. And okay. Alright. Not a single goo showed up today. Not even one. Not even one goo. Meat. Manju. Nothing new. Nothing new. Nothing new. Nothing new. Requirement 8-4. Okay. Wedding. That's new. That's not new. Bunny's not new. I don't remember Shibi Hisami. Or Hina mask. I could have expected as much. I remember the Remilia costume. Sakurai, nothing. Futo, nothing. Aya, nothing. Saw enough of her. Pantomime. Yeah. Alright, time to open the legendary box. Open 10 boxes? You can open 10 at a time? Nah, I'm good. Gigantic. What? I have that one. Have that one. Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay, well, there's my current results on my legendary boxes. I can't read the names, but I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm only missing 7 legendary skins. Wow. Alright. Anything new in the emote shop? 4 key. I have 54 keys. Nah. 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 Didn't one of these cost like 12 keys? Yeah, this one. The fuck is... Why do they cost 12 keys, bro? Alright. Level 71. I gained 1 level in 2 hours. Alright, chat. That's it. Hina-chan Breaker has broken her last broke. I can't use those skins for the thumbnail. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for playing. I will play Hina again at some point in my life. I'm sure. When? I don't know. Maybe another update. Maybe when I feel like it. But there's always more Hina to play. At some point.